All right, first thing I noticed when I glanced at this problem is we do have two parts to it. We are in lesson 2.5 and we're kind of closing in on the end here. So that's good. And if you haven't watched the overview videos about solving equations using completing the square, that's probably a good idea to watch those overviews. If you need more help, down at the bottom, view an example or help me solve this. I don't usually use much in the get more help. There are examples from the book there that sometimes are nice to be able to see, but help me solve this will make you, or we'll walk you through it step by step, giving you hints, but they'll still make you do a new one over. So for that reason, I prefer the view an example. All right, so back to our problem. We are supposed to write an equation in vertex form. So the first thing that I would do when I'm doing vertex form is you've got to get this stretch factor out in front. So that 0.2 has got to come out here. So I'm going to factor a 0.2 out of everything to see what we have after that. 0.2 times the x squared, that would be this first one. 0.2 times this x would be there, and then I don't know what I got to figure out 0.2 times something to equal that 5.05. And honestly, we can wait and worry about that later, because remember, we're just going to balance our problem out on the end out here to figure out what we need to have to get back to that. So 0.2 comes out there. Half of this x right here, this is going to be a little bit of a gross problem because this is 1. And so to do half of that, you could do decimals or fractions. I'm going to stick with a fraction here. To get it in the perfect square form, it would look like that. When you're working on this, remember your plane x, half of your x, your plane x, this comes straight down. And then the 1 is divided by 2. That's where this half comes from. Now, what do we have at this point? It's, we've got, let's do the x plus a half times the other x plus a half. See what we have. There's my x squared. There's a half of an x there. There's 1/2 times 1/2 in here, which is 1/4. Remember how that multiplies, and a half right there. So if we did everything right, remember, this matches right there. These two combined, half x and a half x makes this whole x. And then we also have this 1/4. So we got this 1/4 here, but remember, after the 1/4, then it's multiplied also by this 0.2, which 0.2 is 1/5. So right now we have 1/20th. Whew. Let's go see what that 1/20th. If I change that, I think that's 0.05, but we can go over to Desmos if you're not sure. 1/20th. 0.05. So what we have right now from this 1/2 squared, the 1/2 squared times the 0.2, we have 1/20th, which was 0.05, but we needed 5.05. So out here, we still need another 5 to make this equal the original problem. Oh, that is so gross with those fractions and decimals. And again, if you watch the videos where you go through the help me solve this, view an example, sometimes there's slightly different methods for this. But we have our 0.2 x plus 1/2 squared. And then when we squared the half times the 0.2, that was 0.05. And so we still needed another 5 to equal my original out there. And after all of that is said and done, it doesn't ask us this, or maybe the second part will. Remember how this works. To get the vertex, it's the opposite of this. So a negative 1/2, and the same as this 5. And then since it's multiplying by this 0.2, it's going to be a wider parabola with that vertex at -1/2, -1/2, +5 up here, and wider because of the stretch factor, the vertical stretch factor on the front. Anyway, let's put this in and see how we do here. It says, write the equation in the vertex form right now. So we've got the 0.2, the x plus 1/2, or 0.5 did it. Use integers or decimals. So this is not an integer, so we better use the decimal. 0.5, shift 6 for the caret to get in the exponent squared, arrow to the right, plus my 5. Let's see how we did. Whew, that is some gnarly stuff. Then it says, since this is opening up, remember the 0.2 because it's opening up there. Point 2, it's opening up. So this is a minimum when we go over. I think that's what this pull down question is going to be asking. It's a minimum, a lowest point. And what did we say the vertex was there? Again, integers or decimals. So we said -0.5, comma, 5. And that was because it was the opposite of this and the same as that. All right, so this could be one of those where you need to do more than one to really make sure you've got the process down. Hope that video does help you a little bit, but dedication, determination, and discipline, you'll get it and it'll pay off down the road. So I think we're good to go. Good luck, everybody.